1, 2, 3, 4.
Fortnite Save the World is a game mode for the popular game Fortnite. Originally, it was the main mode, but as of now, it's considered the secondary mode. Epic Games have pretty much ceased development on the game mode entirely, labeling it as a premium experience in the process. The game mode is a zombie shooter base building type game defending objectives from the enemies known as the Huss and Mist Monsters. Huss are a zombie type enemy that are pretty basic, while Mist Monsters are more complex, some with the ability to fly and some just really powerful. While seemingly basic from the description I've just given, the game mode is actually quite complex in comparison. There are many more game mechanics helping the game gain complexion, such as crafting traps, weapons, and creating hero loadouts to buff your character. First time playing Save the World, you most likely have no clue as to what to do, but the game sports a pretty decent tutorial to help you. The tutorial will teach you how to build, attack, move, edit buildings, crafting, harvesting resources, and placing traps, which is all that you mainly need to know how to play Save the World. Building is extremely important, and so is attacking. It's the main point of the game mode. Building will help you defend your objective, whilst attacking will also assist in defending. Editing buildings will allow you to create unique pieces to aid in ease of access and defending. Harvesting is an absolute must in order to craft and build. While harvesting materials to build, you'll also gain resources to craft. In order to place traps, you must craft them before you place them. So learning how to craft is an absolute must, seeing as traps are extremely useful. If it wasn't obvious, crafting is very important, using your schematics and resources to create unique weapons with custom perks attached to them, and also traps. Schematics are earned by progressing through the game's story, more on that later, while resources you must go and harvest. Use your harvesting tool, a pickaxe, if you haven't replaced it by buying something, to destroy structures such as trees, cars, walls, entire buildings, TVs, and even garden gnomes. Once you have enough to craft, you can simply double click on it in your inventory and you'll start creating your weapon. But this weapon isn't upgraded, is it? While not in a mission, head over to your armory and upgrade the schematic using your weapon XP you gained by playing the game. After it's hit the desired level, you want to change its perks you've gained by leveling it up. Using reperk, you can change the perks on the weapon, except the last perk. You need a special kind of resource to do that. But you can change the perks to suit what you want your weapon to be. You can also change the weapon's element. Changing the element will make you do more damage to certain elements of enemies and less to others. Elements are typically decent against their own element, not dealing too bad of damage. The energy element is good all around for all elements, dealing roughly 25% less damage to elemental enemies. Physical is high damage, but a lot less against elemental enemies, so it's not recommended. Fire element is really good against nature, but horrible against water. Water is really good against fire, but awful against nature. Nature is really good against water, but, you know, fire. You get it yet? All weapons and traps have durability, meaning you can't just craft one really good gun and use that forever. Traps don't use elements, but are still really good for defense, seeing as you could probably be out getting resources while your traps do all the work. Schematics are important, your hero is even more important, and changes your playstyle almost entirely. There are a total of 4 hero categories: soldiers, constructors, ninjas, and outlanders. Whilst there's only 4 categories, the individual heroes each have their own unique perks, and each category has their own unique abilities. Soldiers are typically good with guns, some sporting an ability called Going Commando. The ability allows the hero to pull out a high DPS minigun, which is also good at destroying structures. Constructors are based around buildings. All constructors have an ability called Base, which enhances structures' armor, allowing them to take more damage. Ninjas are melee based, which means they excel at close quarters. All ninjas sport an attribute known as Shadow Stance, increasing the hero's armor whilst in a shadow stance, allowing them to tank more damage than usual. Outlanders excel at looting and using their abilities. They can find charge fragments to shorten the cooldown of their abilities and make it cost no energy. All heroes except reskins have their own unique perks that either buff certain weapons, cause unique effects, or buff ability damage. These perks are support and commander perks. Commander perks are perks that you get when you use the hero as your main, meaning you play as them, while support perks are given when you put them in support slots. Support slots are slots for more heroes to be put in. While they're in support slots, you gain their support perk and some additional health and shield based on theirs. When creating a hero loadout, think of what you want to be doing or using. If you're going for an assault rifle build, try picking a soldier that buffs the assault rifle's damage, or if you can't do that because you don't have a hero that does that for you, just pick any soldier. All heroes have their common skills, which is what all heroes of their classes have. Soldiers have suppressive fire, increasing their gun's damage the more they shoot one target, and Stay Frosty, which increases gun damage and accuracy after 3 kills. Constructors have, as I mentioned before, base, which reinforces structures, and they also have kinetic overload, which when they knock back enemies with melee releases a pulse of damage, and after crits increases impact, which is the knockback power of the melee. Ninjas have a mantis leap, allowing them to jump in additional time and also disabling fall damage. Shadow stance, as I mentioned before, increasing their armor and their movement speed whilst in it. And finally, Outlanders, anti-material charge, which allows them to punch forwards, destroying anything in front of them whilst gaining the resources, and in the zone, which after 5 hits of your pickaxe increases your speed and your pickaxe damage. Outlanders can also open an in-game loot llama, which comes from purple charge fragments. The in-game loot llama gives resources while destroying it. The last game mechanic I would like to go over is the reason why I kept saying in-game loot llama, because there's actually other kinds of loot llamas that you can get that are not from in-game. Loot llamas are llama pinatas that possibly, depending on the type, contain heroes, resources, and gold. Gold is your main shop currency that you get by playing the game. V-Bucks are not the main currency in Save the World, but can be used to get llamas if you so desire. Gold is used to buy heroes and resources in the item shop, which is an excellent way of getting the resources and heroes that you need. Playing the game will give you enough gold, but you cannot buy gold with real money or V-Bucks. Okay, I'll finally stop giving you a verbal tutorial of what Save the World is and what you do, and discuss what I really want to talk about. What happened to Save the World? As I mentioned in the intro, Save the World got effectively cancelled. Epic has slowed development almost entirely on it and said it was completed. Almost anyone in the Save the World community could tell you that this is not true. The story was never completed and just got cut off out of nowhere.
So that they can say that it's no longer in early access, and so that they can put the minimal amount of effort possible to just basically leave this game on life support for as long as it's around.
Playing the game itself, you could tell it's unfinished because there's so many bugs you'll run into, some even caused by the cosmetics from Battle Royale. While playing, certain missions will show you bugs that you wish you would never find. Unable to build in certain spots needed to be built in to defend the objective. Enemies damaging the objective through walls. Enemies' attack behavior entirely out of whack. Weapons disappearing.
Then you try to do his built-in emote, which again is right here. Watch what happens. Boom. The mythic item completely vanishes.
These are all effects of the unpolished gameplay of Save the World. But not only did Epic end up killing Save the World, the bad side of the community aided in it. We're talking about people that trade in Save the World. Trading in Save the World isn't really a bad thing, it's just not supported. Trading typically leads to scamming, which results in people getting mad and some laughing at it. Videos were being started of people scamming people, and this just promoted it more. In my opinion, there's no real reason to trade in Save the World, considering you can earn most of the schematics for the weapons and traps. But this isn't the only problem. There was also more than scamming. People would dupe items so that they could create infinite of these items and possibly trade and scam with them. People would also get modded items, which were weapons with perks that weren't supposed to have said perks. The bad side of the Save the World community was killing their own game by abusing these bugs. It wasn't all darkness though. When Epic was still updating Save the World, there was a lot of good content to be had. Save the World was a really fun game when it was still getting updates. New guns for people to find use for by upgrading and changing the perks on it. New questlines to earn heroes with unique perks, which, with all the other heroes, had people integrating it into their loadouts to find out the potential of them. Dungeons, a mode where you scavenge a literal dungeon, all while earning heroes and gold, fighting a boss at the end as well. Mythic Storm King, a mode made for people who are at the end of the game and want a really tough fight for really good weapons. Ventures, a mode literally added for replayability of Save the World, seeing as they slowed down development. Save the World overall had its ups and downs, but that leads us to where we are today. Save the World still has an active community, founders and new players. Founders play because they can still get V-Bucks and use it for Battle Royale. Some founders just play because they paid for it and still enjoy it. While new players play the game mode because Epic turned Save the World into a side deal attached to skin bundles people want. While I've just ratted Save the World and said it sucks because of what happened to it, I still love it as a game. If Epic continued to develop Save the World, they could have made it into something big and unique. But they decided to go all out on Battle Royale. I do understand where Epic is coming from though, because money does rule all. In VR, better revenue is better.
Alright people, let's search this dump and get out of here ASAP.
Thank you so much for watching through the entire video. I spent an actually decent amount of time on a video for once and actually put effort in a video for once. If you want to see all the credits that I've given, it's all in the description. You could go watch their videos or the little clips that I picked out. And hey, if you want to, you could subscribe, but I'm probably not going to upload that much content to YouTube. I'm more of a fan of being live and talking to people for real. But I really wanted to create this video for some reason and put it out there. So if you want to see more of me, then I guess subscribe in case I occasionally make a video. If you do like this microphone better, please leave a comment. Because if you want me to, I will use this microphone instead so that you don't have to hear the humming. I know that it's a bit low quality, but it's all that I've got. Okay? See you maybe later. I don't know.